Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Thursday, September 30th. So today, the moon is going to kind of start the day off still in her place of power in Cancer and energy. It will be going void, of course, around 11:30, 12 o'clock-ish, depending on where it is that you're at in the world, midday. And we'll be locking into Leo energy around 10 p.m. So we can already tell just at the fact that the moon is going to be void, of course, for the majority of the waking day hours, that this is going to be a little bit bumpy. This is going to be a little bit chaotic, highly emotional, very unstable, until, of course, the moon locks into Leo energy. We have 11 different aspects taking place today. 8 of them involve the moon. This is the very last day of September, meaning we have a push, we have an intensity to wrap up the life lessons that September was meant to bring us, which were lessons of the number 9. The number 9, of course, is truth, is belief, is our higher self, is kind of reigniting the excitement, the passion, the desire to take a new course, to jump into a brand new adventure. And of course, jumping out of Virgo season and into Libra season, that was a huge push in order for us to perfect ourselves in that Virgo energy, purifying ourselves and preparing ourselves, of course, to rejoin the world, sharing ourselves with other people, which of course the Libran energy encourages us to do. So we are going to have to kind of ride the wave here today. There are going to be some very positive aspects that really push us to a brand new breaking point of epiphanies, of evolution. And then there are going to be some darker forces that want to hold us back, want to prevent us from riding high. And we are going to have to learn how to ride that wave. So to start the day off, the moon, still very much in Cancer energy, bumps into Neptune and into Venus. Of course, Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, Neptune being in his place of power in Piscean energy, retrograde, of course. This is really kind of pushing us to align with our higher selves, with our intuition, to really allow ourselves to float off into imaginary land, into dreamland, and get that vision. Remind ourselves why the struggle is going to be worth it. And of course, it is going to be worth it once we get to our end goal, but we have some work to do. We have some purging to do. We have some cleansing to do. And of course, we have to start by jumping into those shadow elements of ourselves and illuminating them to our awareness. This is where enlightenment takes place. So the moon actually trining Venus, who is in Scorpio, another water sign. This is a positive aspect. Now, Venus being in Scorpio has been a little bit dark. It's been very overwhelming, very intense because our passions have been highlighted. Our desires, especially for intimacy, for soul connections, have been highlighted. But for the most part, we've been dabbling in the not so nice parts of those emotions and of those thoughts. This particular energy, where the moon is in Cancer in its place of power, making these beautiful aspects with Neptune and Venus, who are also in water signs, this is transformation, mind, body, and soul. This is alchemizing, turning the pain into power, turning the darkness into light. And because we have this beautiful energy supporting us, this is our time to elevate to our higher selves, to move inwards and really grasp that intuitive feeling of knowing that things are going to be okay, that we are on the right path despite the confusion and the lack of clarity that we're seeing in our physical realms. And this is really bossing us up to recognize what it is that we now value. What it is that really brings us a sense of joy, what it is, especially in a partner, in, aligning ourselves with other people, what it is we need to feel safe, to feel supported, to feel that connection, to feel empowered, to feel important, to bring a sense of joy and peace and harmony and love into everything that we're doing especially our personal relationships. Now, here's where things get a little bit dark. We have to kind of remind ourselves that just when we reach a high level of frequency and vibration, feeling good, thinking good, overall alignment, those darker force energies are going to kick in to try and pull us back into the shadows. So the moon in Cancer makes an aspect with Jupiter, which of course Jupiter normally wants to be our hype girl, wants to just kind of pep talk us into growth, into expansion, into reminding us to stay positive, to have the confidence, just to focus on the possibilities of opportunities of abundance coming into our future realms. But when Jupiter is negatively aspected, this kind of turns the volume all the way up on the not so nice thoughts and the not so nice feelings. And when we talk about the not so nice thoughts and feelings, we have to examine the shadow parts of these energies. And of course, the shadow part of the moon being in Cancer is, well, we get overly attached. We are very scared, insecure. We do not feel grounded. We do not feel safe. We feel very insecure about our foundations with our home, with our family, with our relationships. We feel a violation of sorts in our boundaries. We recognize where it is that we've been nurturing other people, but we haven't been receiving those nurturing thoughts and feelings back. And Jupiter is just going to turn the volume all the way up on all of these negative thoughts and feelings that now are being illuminated for us. Now, things aren't going to get much better when the moon in Cancer opposes Pluto, who is retrograde in Capricorn. Now, Cancer and Capricorn energy, this is the axis of safety and security in the home, in the career, finances, and emotions. This is basically where it is that we're being kind of torn apart, recognizing that we don't have the time, effort, or energy to pour both into our wants, needs, and desires in the home life where our relationships are concerned, and into our career where the roles and responsibilities of our career and to secure that financial type of security coming in is concerned. We feel that push and pull. Because Pluto is in this Capricorn energy and preparing to go direct in October, this is kind of highlighting for us our fears, our insecurities, where systems and foundations need to crumble, especially in the way that we feel about ourselves. We have the moon in Cancer here that just wants to take care of ourselves, just wants to take care of our home, our family, really wants to nurture ourselves and those that we love to a place of safety and security. And we have Pluto retrograde in Capricorn that is just dismantling these systems, these foundations, especially where, government is concerned, where these bigger systems like, banking and healthcare, we're seeing this on the collective right now, but in our own individual lives, this is really a war and inner conflict between the masculine and feminine energies. Cancer in energy, of course, the mother, and Capricorn energy, of course, the father. There is a push and pull of authority figures here. There's a push and pull of wanting to secure that financial bag that we're working so hard to do, bossing up in new roles and responsibilities in our career and reaching a new place of authority. But at what cost? Well, this would suggest that we're really trying to reevaluate what it is that we're willing to do in order to get that bag, get that money, and what it is that we need to do in order to make sure that our home, the foundation of our home, the foundation of the family dynamics within our home is being taken care of as well. This is really the financial goals versus the emotional security goals of the home and of the career. So the moon goes ahead and squares Mercury, who is in Libra, who is now retrograde. Now, we are still getting used to this retrograde energy. Of course, it is slowing us down. We are hella confused. What we thought we were on the plan of manifesting has now suddenly changed. We are recontemplating, reevaluating, reorganizing, re-strategizing our intentions, our energy, our focus. Of course, Mercury being in Libran energy is all about balancing the scales of our personal relationships, finding the middle ground of what is fair, doing what is right, within those relationships. And of course, the moon in Cancer being aspected in all the shadow qualities and characteristics at this particular point is very attached to the old ways of doing things. We're recognizing right now with this inner conflict going on, this push and pull going on, that we do kind of have to let go of the past and switch up our behaviors, and especially the way that we're communicating what it is that we need in order to feel safe and secure in our personal relationships. We need to switch things up if we want a different outcome. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Now we're being illuminated to the fact that, we might want to stick to what is old, tried, tested, and true, but that's only going to get us the same results that we've already been living in. So now we have to balance our thinking, again, Mercury ruling over the mental plane. We have to balance our emotions, which is the moon in Cancer, to see what it is that we're willing to do here in the give and take of recognizing where it is that we have to stop doing certain things and adopt new ways of doing things in order to actually get a different result. This can be overwhelming. It can be confusing because we haven't done these things before. It's brand new territory. So all of these negative aspects are kind of turning the volume up, putting a lot of extra feels out there. We're afraid of starting something new. We're afraid of rejection. We have this very negative mental narrative taking over, highlighting our fears, highlighting our insecurities. And what are we going to do about it? Well, just when the dark forces think that they got a hold of us, pulling us back into those lower vibrational frequencies, we're going to make a move. What does that move look like? Well, it does look like a move bumping into the sun. The moon makes this harmonious aspect with the sun, who of course is in Libra, giving us the force, giving us the drive, giving us the will to overcome these extremes in order to find balance, in order to find peace, in order to find love. The moon in Cancer, the sun in Libra, is very much kind of trying to blend the fact that, okay, we've examined the past, we've examined our old thoughts, our emotions, our behaviors. We recognize where it is that we have been driving ourselves insane by doing the same things over and over again. What can we do different? Well, we can make efforts to shift our perspective. It all has to start in the mental plane first. Then we take it down into the heart space. We get these two in agreement. And then what happens? Then we can actually take physical action in our physical realms to make a difference. We get a little bit of a help here because the moon in Cancer goes ahead and makes a very interesting, positive interaction with Uranus. Uranus, of course, is the great awakener, blowing our minds with an aha moment. This moment that suddenly we shift our perspective. We see where it is that we can kind of rebel against our old self, where it is that we can take a stand for what it is that we want, what it is that we desire, what it is that we need. When we start seeing what it is that we have been settling for, this opens us up to a brand new situation on where it is that we can take a stand, where it is that we can kind of start fighting for these new elements, these new wants, these new needs, these new desires that now we can't unknow. The sun is going to go ahead and bump into Jupiter. So we have the sun in Libra fighting for balance, fighting for what is right, fighting for what is fair, really kind of pushing us to kind of make a space for new peace, new love, new harmony to enter into our realms. And you have Jupiter here who just wants to hype us up to grow, to make a change, to push us outside of our comfort zones, outside of our boundaries, keeping us restricted, keeping us in the loop of insanity. And of course, Jupiter just wants to hype us up and keep us filled with positivity, keep us filled with a glimmer of hope that if we are able to get our heart and our head in alignment, and if we are able to abandon our old thoughts, our old emotions, our old actions, and if we are brave enough to stand in unfamiliar territory, to make a change, to advocate for ourselves, what kind of beautiful opportunities actually await us? This is a moment where we can expand ourselves to the next level of enlightenment, where it is we can tap into the life force energy of the sun, where we can amp up our will, our drive to want to be better. The moon goes ahead and bumps into Mars. Mars, of course, hyped up, ready to take action anytime the universe is going to give him a green light, go ahead and do so. And right now, Mars wants to act on this positivity, on this expansion, on this growth. Now we have to understand that Mars is a warrior. He wants to fight for what is right. He wants to do what is necessary in order to kind of, equal out the scales in our relationships. We are tapping into the next level of courage, of bravery, that we get to kind of take within ourselves and recognize that the only person who is going to fight for us in this world is us. The only person who is willing to put ourselves out there to make a change for the better is us. And Mars is all about it. He is all about going ahead and just slashing through the old thoughts, the old emotions, the old actions, the old ways of doing things in order to free his self, to make a move, to balance the scales, to find peace, to find love, to find harmony in our lives once again. So Venus is going to square Jupiter. Now let me just tell you, Venus in Scorpio is all about desires, especially where romance is concerned, where worth and values are concerned, bringing that monetary aspect into it, and where basically we're making some plans for our future goals. Now, a square is a tension point, and out of that tension point, it might feel very uncomfortable, but what happens when we're uncomfortable? We're willing to make a change. Jupiter, of course, wants to turn the volume all the way up on our feels, wants to put a magnifying glass over our situation, our current vibration, our current frequency. And let me just tell you, we are going to have some very strong, very intense urges and desires for pleasure. Now, that comes down to what pleasure means to you. Could be sexual pleasure. Again, Venus in Scorpio, that is where the sexual taboos come out strong. Pleasure could be just having fun. It could be just, making a space in your life to have a better time, to do what it is that you love, to feel good, to look good, to turn music on, to feel free. What does pleasure mean to you? This is really going to aspect for us where it is that we're lacking pleasure. And of course, those not so nice feelings can get a little bit overwhelming. But from this is a learning opportunity for us to be able to say, okay, I'm going to take this darkness, take this pain, take this scarcity, take this lack of mindset, and see where it is that I can actually start making a move in my life right now to clear a space for new joy, for new love, for new pleasure to actually be manifesting in my current reality. We end the day off with, of course, the moon transiting into Leo energy. This kind of brings a little bit of fire back. It really kind of brings us to life once again. It gets us out of our feels. It gets us into a place of initiation, of action, where it is that we're bold, we're brave, we're courageous emotionally to take a stand, to make a difference, to actually push forward. Now, the sun is going to bump into Uranus. This is a beautiful energy for us to end the day off of because this is an aha moment that we can't unknow. This is where we level up. This is where we get a huge dose of enlightenment. Why? Because we just contemplated where it is that we want more joy, happiness, love, and pleasure in our lives. And now we're kind of strategizing how it is that we're going to go get it. The sun that rules over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires, giving us that life force to take action, make things happen, is in Libra, meaning that we want to make things right. We want to be on an equal playing field in order to bring this joy, this harmony, this peace, this love back into our day-to-day lives. This Uranian energy zaps us from a higher intellect, from the cosmos. It literally shifts our perspective. It's an aha moment of genius where we recognize where it is that we have to break free from the old patterns, the old behaviors in order to create a space, in order for this new vibration, this new love, this new joy, this new pleasure to actually have space to grow in our lives. This is where we level up. And I want you to pay attention to your dream state as you go to sleep, because we are about to wake up in a brand new energy, in a brand new month, with a totally different perspective and a brand new frequency to actually work with.